How's it going, guys? My name is Nick Foy, the founder of AskNickFoy.com, and I'm going to be talking today about choosing the right hosting company for your website or your blog. So this is an important topic that shouldn't be overlooked, because picking the wrong website hosting company can cause you lots of headaches in the future, and it can cost you thousands of dollars in your business. So first off, an example of how it can cost you thousands of dollars, just so that we can, hit that fear point right away and kind of drive it home of why this is a serious matter. So let's say you've got a blog you're running and you've got thousands of visitors coming to your website every day. And let's say you've built your blog up to the point that it's doing, a couple $100s a day in product sales. Maybe you're making $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 per month in product sales. So if you go with a host that crashes often and they've got downtime, or they can't handle the website traffic coming to your website, the server speed's slow, this is going to cost you thousands of dollars, because if your website goes down, you're going to miss out on all those sales that you could have been making that day. And then in the future, those people aren't going to want to come back to your website because they're going to remember, how slow it was or the issues they had trying to navigate around your website due to your server and your website hosting company. So this is why it's important to, make sure you pick the right website hosting company from the get-go. We're also going to talk about some of the other features that go into a website hosting company. So first off, if you were to use my affiliate link to learn about Bluehost, that's going to be the first one we're going to talk about. AskNickFoy.com/Bluehost. This is my affiliate link that lets Bluehost know I sent you if you decide to use them. This is the hosting company I use. And right now, some different things to compare. So there's lots of different website hosting companies out there. There's Bluehost. SiteGround is another popular one. Those are probably the top two I'd recommend to you, Bluehost and SiteGround. You've also got GoDaddy, you've got HostGator, and then there's a bunch of other ones I think that I can't quite think of the names right now. But Bluehost, SiteGround, those are the two big ones most bloggers will recommend for beginners to use. So basically what you want to consider when you're selecting your website host is, one, how much does it cost per month for hosting? So a lot of people are going to try to go with the cheapest route possible. That's not always recommended though, because if you go with a crappy hosting company just because they had a really cheap monthly price, you're going to end up paying for it in the long run. So you might save a couple bucks a month right now, but in the long run, when your website starts screwing up, it goes down, people get ticked off because your pages are loading super slow, then you're going to end up costing yourself potential customers and product sales in the future. That's going to be way more than the couple extra dollars you spend per month. So hosting already is super cheap. I mean, we're talking $4 a month for hosting. And then if you go up to some of the more upgraded plans that, if you've got multiple websites, you might need one of the upgraded plans. Then you're talking $5, $6, $7, $8 per month. So it's super cheap already. I mean, literally, we're talking like a cup of coffee is all you'd have to sacrifice in a month to be able to afford website hosting. So this doesn't ever make sense to me, when people try to go the free route and they try to use the free WordPress or the free Wix website hosting companies. What that does though, when you use those, you're saving $4 a month. So is it really worth it? So what's going to happen is your website's going to end up having some ugly, unprofessional extension. So mine would be, asknickfoy.wordpress.com if I was trying to use the free WordPress version instead of getting my own self-hosted website. So this already looks unprofessional. Anybody coming there is not going to take your business serious. They'd rather see it say asknickfoy.com. So you get this self-hosted domain name that looks professional when you buy website hosting, versus using the free software, the free WordPress websites where you've got to add in the extension. The second big thing is functionality. When you run your own self-hosted website, like using Bluehost, compared to the free WordPress websites you could start a website around, the free WordPress websites won't have all the functionality that a self-hosted website will have. So for example, you don't get access to all the plugins, which plugins are codes that help add features to your website. So you could add like social share buttons to your website that show up at the bottom of your web page. You can add, different customizations. So you can customize different fonts, different layouts of your website. There's plugins that help analyze for SEO to get your articles ranking in Google. There's image plugins. I mean, it's hard to get to name specific examples. There's so many different plugins you could use to modify your website and make it better. That you don't get access to those same functions when you're using a free WordPress website builder. So that's where we talk about a self-hosted versus using free websites. So once you decide to use a self-hosted website, then it's about picking the right hosting company. So that's where we get into talking about SiteGround versus Bluehost. So let me go ahead to SiteGround's website real quick. So you can read lots of reviews. I'm sure lots of bloggers have written blog reviews on SiteGround, and then they have their affiliate links linking out to SiteGround, just like I promote Bluehost, and I have my affiliate link sending people to Bluehost. So some different things you want to think about, again, cost. You can compare SiteGround to Bluehost. How much does it cost per month for their basic beginner hosting plan? So let's go ahead and click this green Get Started Now button to look at some of the different features. And then I'll go ahead and see if we can see the plans. There we go. Let's find the different plans they've got. So they're all going to have like 3 different plans usually. You've got your basic plan, your kind of intermediate plan, and your business plan if you're like a company or a corporate, business. So your basic plans typically start out with just one website. They give you access to hosting. If you upgrade to the next plan, you can have multiple websites. So I currently have multiple websites. I'm on the Plus plan for Bluehost since I run my golf website, my real estate website, and a couple other niche specific websites. And Ask Nick Foy, that's my main, teaching website where I teach online business. So I had to get up here to the Plus plan since that way it only limits me to one website on the basic plan. But when I first started, I think I started on the basic plan, and later I upgraded to the Plus plan once I knew I was going to have multiple websites. So $4 and $6 are the first 2 plan prices. Same thing here, $4 and $6. So it's really, you can cross that out. It really doesn't matter pricing between the two. Then they give you website space. So they're giving you 50 gigabytes of website space. So if you're building lots and lots of content, writing tons and tons of blog posts, you're probably still never going to run into this cap. So you don't have to worry about website space. There's no reason to upgrade to the Plus plan because, you're never going to hit that 50 gigabyte cap most likely. Now here, they're giving you 10 gigabytes. Again, this should be plenty of website space. I think my website that's got hundreds of articles, if I was to download it into a zip file, I'm pretty sure it's like 2 or 3 or 4 gigabytes. And it's a pretty good sized website. So 10 gigabytes is a massive amount of web space that you probably won't run into. But just know that, Bluehost does give you 50 gigabytes. SiteGround's going to give you 10. And then they're saying this is basically suitable for up to like 10,000 visits monthly. So this is the big problem that we're talking about that can cost you thousands of dollars. So if you start out with, a cheap website hosting company, a cheap plan, and then all of a sudden your website takes off, you've got content that starts going viral, and all of a sudden your website gets flooded with like, let's say 10,000 visitors in one day or 1 hour, and you end up getting hundreds of thousands of visitors to your website in a month, or eventually you build up to the point your website's getting 1 million website visitors a month. When you get to that point, you've got so much traffic coming to your website server's got to be able to handle all that traffic. So SiteGround kind of breaks it down for you and says, all right, this plan, you're good up to about 10,000 visitors monthly. Once your website starts getting more than that, you're going to start getting, kind of clogged up. Server times might start slowing down. So that's when they start recommending the next plan where you can hold about 25,000 website visitors monthly. And then if you start, getting 30,000, 100,000, you might consider getting up to their next plan, which goes up to 100,000. And then at some point you can jump to another hosting plan where they can upgrade you to like your own dedicated server type thing so that it can handle a high volume of website traffic. Once you start getting to that 500,000 visitors per month and your website's made it. At that point, if you've got that much traffic, you should be making 6 figures per year because that's a lot of people stopping by your website every month, and a percentage of them are going to convert naturally into customers. So you should be making a good full-time living at that point. But you can still make a full-time living, with 10,000 or 25,000 monthly visitors. So this just kind of breaks it down for you, which I like with SiteGround. If you come over here to Bluehost, I don't believe they've started doing that yet. They don't mention anything in there when you're comparing plans about how many visitors it can hold. But you can kind of assume the same thing. Their basic plan, it's just one website. Your website can probably hold 10,000 or so monthly visitors before you should start going up to that next plus plan. So I would kind of consider them, the same. Again, these kind of cancel out as far as how many visitors. My website, I'm on the plus plan, and my golf site gets around 25,000 monthly visitors. So I haven't seen anything, go wrong. My site hasn't had any downtime or anything like that yet. Once I start getting up to 30 to 50,000, if I start noticing issues with my website, then I might start upgrading to the next plan or whatever. And then, recently, actually, I do recently remember I did upgrade to this plan because I had to get an SSL certificate for one of my store pages. So I think I'm actually already upgraded to the Prime plan, where I'm paying like $15 a month now. So I'm actually good for a while until I get up to that 100,000 visits per month. So then we've got the all essential features. So it drops this list down here. So free site transfer. So if you're moving from another hosting company, they'll transfer your site for you for free. They give you 24/7 support, free app installs, free email accounts, unmetered traffic, free SSLs, which is huge. Now Google is starting to require free SSL certificates on your website. So basically that protects your web pages from, data information being hacked. So like if you're having a checkout page with a credit card fields where people enter their credit card information, you want that page to be secured with an SSL certificate. You get 30 days money back guarantee, free daily backups, so they'll actually back up your website for you. You can set it up. You can set up free Cloudflare, unlimited MySQL databases. They've got a free website builder, and they've got their cPanel. So a lot of these features you'll also find over in Bluehost. So let me go ahead and keep this list open, and I'll just let you know what Bluehost has. So I believe Bluehost also has free website transfer from another hosting company. Bluehost also has the 24/7 support. Anytime I've had issues, with Bluehost, I've called up their customer service phone number, and sometimes if they've got, lots of people calling in, it might be a 10-15 minute wait, but a lot of times I get right through to support. They pull up my account info, they start looking through my website files on the back end to see if they see anything wrong, and they've always been able to help me fix things over the phone. Then Bluehost also has different app installs. They've got free email accounts you get with your hosting plan. So I'm able to set up domain website email addresses. So Nick at asknickfoy.com. I can set up my own email account that goes with my website domain. And then they've got, now Bluehost started doing the free SSLs. So they give you these free 3-month subscriptions, and then it automatically renews. So every 3 months I get a new email saying your SSL certificate renewed, and it doesn't charge me. It says free. So that's nice that they give free SSLs. I had to upgrade to one of the Prime plans to get my own dedicated server, and it was so that I could get a specific type of SSL that would go on subdomains. So the main SSLs go just for your primary domain. That's getting a little more, complicated to get into, but that's kind of the reason why I had to upgrade. And then after that, Bluehost started offering free SSLs for main primary domains. So it worked out. Then they've got their cPanel when you log into your Bluehost account that you can navigate to get into the back end of your website. You can install WordPress, all the different apps that they've got for you to check out. So that's what the cPanel is. Free website builder. I'm not sure with Bluehost on that. I use a website builder that's, part of my theme I purchased. So that's what we'll be sharing in another video lesson, how to purchase a theme that's got an easy customizable page builder tool. That can make it super easy for you to drag and drop, your web pages to build them and design them. But, SiteGround, they claim they've got a free website builder, which I'm not real familiar with because I haven't used SiteGround before, so I don't know about that. Backups, as far as backing up my website, I know Bluehost, they save your files on the back end, but I still back up my own website using a plugin called Updraft Plus, whereas I think SiteGround actually offers, like a daily backup plan for free. So that might be one of the features that SiteGround offers. Bluehost doesn't, but like I said, Bluehost might offer it. I'm not sure. I used a workaround. I used a plugin called Updraft Plus that backs my website up every single day to Dropbox or Google Drive. That way, if my website ever crashed, I can access that backup folder in my Dropbox account. So it's storing it for me in the cloud. And then my website's also hooked up to Cloudflare for free, just like SiteGround's claiming they've got free Cloudflare CDN. So SiteGround, I've heard a lot of people talk about them being faster than Bluehost. I don't know that that's necessarily true. You'd have to maybe take a website that's run on SiteGround and a website run on Bluehost, copy those URLs and paste them into Google's page speed test and see, comparing apples to apples. But again, lots of things could be different. The site hosted by SiteGround might have more or less image files than the site hosted by Bluehost, and image files can slow down your website. So you'd have to find, two different websites that are basically identical and compare the two. So maybe when you're first starting a website, you start two brand new websites from scratch where you just create one homepage for each website that's identical. That way you're comparing two websites together that have, the exact same homepage and they haven't, downloaded a bunch of stuff yet to them. And then you could compare. I don't know. It's hard to say, but I've never had any issues with Bluehost's website speed. All my web pages have always loaded pretty quickly. The ones that load slow, I ran through Google's speed page test and it tells me, it's because I've got image files that are megabytes instead of kilobytes. So then I would go to an image compressor program and import my images. It compresses them, or they've got WordPress plugins that can do this for you, but it smushes the file size down, and then I would re-upload those images back into my web page, and all of a sudden it cut my page speed down from like 8 seconds to like 4 seconds. So just doing some on-page optimization can help cut your website speed down. It's not necessarily a result of your hosting service. Sometimes it's about how much content you have on the web page itself. If you've got videos, photos, big media items that can drag the web page speed down because it makes the file size of that page bigger, so it takes longer to load. That can affect your speed sometimes. So really, it's hard for me to judge between the two. You could check out both, decide which one you like. I recommend Bluehost. That's just the one I've always used. I've had no issues with it. And, again, as your website grows, you're going to have to think about the future ahead of time. Once your website grows, you want to make sure you're with a hosting company that you can grow with, so you can keep upgrading to different plans and make sure that you're able to support the amount of traffic coming to your website so that your website's not going down and crashing. Like Apple, for example, whenever they launch their new iPhone, floods and floods of traffic come rushing into their Apple website, and if they're not set up on the right hosting server systems, their website will get crashed because so much traffic coming at once, their servers can't handle it. It makes their website go down, and I'm sure you've been on websites before that have gone down due to high volume of traffic. Black Friday deals sends lots of traffic to different company websites, and those might crash. So it's hard for a website to crash, just randomly on its own. There usually has to be a cause behind it, which usually is when tons and tons of traffic comes to it at one time. So that's why starting out, you're going to be fine on the basic plan for $4 a month for one website. You'll have plenty of storage space, plenty of bandwidth. You get different subdomains if you want. You get email account storage, free email accounts. So you're going to be fine on the basic plan. Only once your website starts taking off and you get lots and lots of traffic coming, should you start worrying about upgrading to these other plans. So that's kind of a wrap-up review of website hosting. This was a longer tutorial video today, going more in depth, and I hope you took some good takeaways from it. The big thing with websites is that the hosting company is going to store your website files for you on their servers. So when people go to your web pages, it requests access from the servers on the back end. So they, within a few seconds or milliseconds, they'll load those web pages, and then all of a sudden somebody can access them. So you want to have a hosting company that has good storage, good bandwidth speed, good hosting speed as far as page load times and can handle good amounts of website traffic so that it's not crashing when tons of traffic comes to your website. And if you find a hosting company like Bluehost or SiteGround that can pass all those different checkmark screenings, then that's the one to go with. So that's why I've already done the research for you, and I recommend one of these two. Again, if you want to use Bluehost, I would recommend using my affiliate link to help me out. You don't have to, but it's just one of those nice things you could do for me. Go to asknickfoy.com/Bluehost. It's my affiliate link. It's going to take you to Bluehost. It's going to let them know I sent you. And if you sign up for hosting with Bluehost, I'm going to get a referral fee for sending you. So you're helping support my online business in exchange for the free information that I spend time creating on my YouTube channel, in my emails, on my blog, helping other people. It's a way that I can help support my website and keep it running. So thanks so much for watching this video. Go check out, do your research, do your due diligence. There's other hosting companies out there, but these are the two that I've seen bloggers use the most. In the Facebook groups I'm in, they talk about how much they hated their other hosts and how they had to make the switch to Bluehost and SiteGround and how much different and better it was once they made that switch. So I'm saving you headaches ahead of time by recommending these two hosting companies so that you don't go get on some other some other hosting company that ends up being malfunction and crashes and causes your website downtime. That's the worst possible scenario that can happen. So thanks again for watching and take care.